says, all the hard work from me and my sisters and my parents, all that we put in the off-season. Sounds like a great family display. When Jets trying to find a coach, they're interviewing for the second time Aaron Glenn for the first time in person. Because Lions were upset in the playoffs. Glenn was a standout player in the NFL, and of course drafted by the Jets and was great here. Glenn was options and elected to do his first interview with New York, but he's going to be elected because he's defense coordinator for a depleted Lions squad that's still the best record in football, and he had to do with that. I'm Brian Schmidt, that's the Talk New York on 77 WABC.
And that's Brian Kilmeade's Talk of New York on 77 WABC. From high atop Fox News headquarters in New York City, the most approachable radio host in America. It's Brian Kilmeade.
Delivery.
Yes.
Hey, I'm in Brooklyn on the way to Manhattan. I have an appointment to pick up the dentist situation. Can you do the pasta?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. See you later.
Welcome everyone to Washington, D.C. We're packing up, getting ready to go because the inauguration's done and it's time to get to work if you're the President of the United States because you're no longer President-elect, no longer and we see the screwing in the background. Sorry about that. They think it's a good time to take everything apart. It's only radio. 1-866-408-7669. But it's fun to get back to work already. We got some good news for the Trump team. Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary nominee, has sailed through committee. He's going to have a general vote. Pete Hegseth through committee. John Radcliffe sailed through committee. We already have Marco Rubio through. I say we because the country needs a team in place. There's no time forever for any vacuum. Emily Dominic will be with us at Kimberly Brown, daughter of Jim Brown, who's also working with the Trump team. Let's bring in Douglas Murray, National Review Institute fellow, author of The War on the West. In fact, before we do that, why don't we get to the big three?
Now, with the stories you need to know, it's Brian's Big Three.
Number 3. Essentially, with TikTok, I have the right to either sell it or close it. And we may have to get an approval from China, too. I'm not sure, but I'm sure they'll approve it. And if they don't approve it, it would be somewhat of a hostile act, I think.
But China doesn't want to sell it because the whole reason is not to be a successful company, to use it as a spy device, a way to surveil American culture and understanding, and also dominate our news. TikTok alive for now, hopefully not for long.
Buffalo soldier.
On death watch.
A buffalo soldier. You know the song Buffalo Soldier?
He has let down his party with his pardons, his behavior, his pouting, his delusional acts, and being cognitively impaired.
Alexa, wake up.
Would not step
Alexa,
in.
how's
That's
the
basically
weather?
the only thing, our only hope. Joe goes out low, pardoning his family, pardoning criminals, the J6 committee henchmen, while getting blitzed in person by the new president during his inaugural address.
Number 1. And will, to the best of my ability, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend. The Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the United States. So help me God. So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. President.
And there you go. John Roberts, the Chief Justice, swears in the new president, and he is back, and he's so pleased to be back in the Oval Office, so calm, cool, and collected in signing his myriad of executive orders, executive actions, and personal actions. And they have everything in place. If you see the shot, you see all the personal items behind him. I guess everything is planned out. They had 5 hours to get the Bidens out. Couldn't happen quick enough. And I don't say that as a partisan. I say that because he can't do the job. He was not able to do the job for years, and we're going to find out that he did almost nothing. Listen to him at Joint Base Andrews saying that after the speech that he heard, we have more to do. Really? What could you possibly be doing? That's what he's doing. Every day, I'm getting moved by all we all did to this country. I really mean it. This is going to mark down just what you did. You know, but the point I want to make today is to make clear my farewell address, as we all do 2014.
And you have to walk everywhere. You know how cold it was last night? So it was even colder in D.C. So if you're out going to, if you want to go from the hotel to the ball, there's no Ubers, there's no cabs, and most of the area, there's no traffic allowed anyway, no cars. And you're just walking through the streets forever. You're in these ridiculous lines. Even the finest event was not the balls last night. The event of the whole weekend was the Starlight Ball. That was Saturday night. That was at Union Station, the big train station. So if you saw it, that was the one where the president really, that was his ball. The Starlight Ball was the one to go to Saturday night. If you look at the pictures, it's magnificent. The lighting of it's a grand, the Union Station is the most beautiful train station. You know what Grand Central looks like. This is even more spectacular. It's all lit up with different color lights and the beams, the columns, the ceiling, the lighting. It's unbelievable.
Relax your supply.
And you think, wow, look at this. Is so glamorous. Now, if you're actually there, again, there's no food. You think it's some great banquet. There's no food. Very few chairs. The president's table is a long, long table. There's a few tables around. But otherwise, there's no food, no tables, no chairs. You just stand there. And at the Starlight Ball, the president did not get there till midnight. So if you got there at 8, you're going to just stand around for 4 hours. It is one unpleasant thing going to the inaugural. It can be a real pain in the neck. Now, in the Capitol Rotunda, since it was so uncomfortably, unbearably cold outside, they had to do the inauguration in the Capitol Rotunda. Now, a lot of people, including Donald Trump himself, after looking at that, said, you know, that's where it should be all the time. It just looked better. It looked more impressive, more regal, more dignified to do it in the Rotunda. Now, the problem with the Rotunda, when they do it outside, you can get 30,000 people there. In fact, behind you on the stage, the dais, you could have 300 people. When you do it in the Rotunda, well, you can really only get about 50 on that dais, and you can only get a few hundred in front of you in the room. So let's say it was 500 people. Now, they had more than that, dignitaries, VIP, so they had to put some in a different room, another room in the Capitol, a big room with like another 200 people. They called that the overflow room. And they were not in the Rotunda watching it in person with their own eyes. They were in the overflow room watching it on a big, huge TV screen. Now, that's kind of strange. You go all the way down there and you're just basically watching it on TV. Eric Adams made a big deal about going to the inaugural. He was in the overflow room. Now, he says he was invited at the last minute. They didn't have room for him in the main room, so he watched it on TV in the overflow room. Hey, by the way, Ron DeSantis was put in the overflow room. So, DeSantis in real life, an extremely unpleasant person to everybody he has to deal with. Great governor, the best governor Florida's ever had, finest governor in America. But I don't know why he's just unpleasant to everybody. And as much as Trump tries to make peace with the guy has always been unpleasant. So they put him in the overflow room, and he watched it there. Hey, Fetterman, he came for the inauguration. He was given a prime seat in the main room, not that far from the stage. And sure enough, he showed up in shorts, sneakers, and a hoodie. The outfit that he always wears. And he never looks like a senator. He always looks like a plumber. It's there to fix your sink. But I don't know what the people that know him say there's a method to this madness, a real method to this madness. There's a reason he dresses like that. But at the most formal event, the inauguration of the president, there he was sitting there in shorts, sneakers. Hey, and it was like wind chill of like -5, and he's wearing shorts through the streets. So he was there. Joe Biden, I thought it was really something to watch Trump just slap Joe Biden around in public, and Biden just sitting there having to take it. After all of this was over, Biden got on the helicopter. Normally that's Marine One, the helicopter, but he was no longer president when he got on it. So it was not designated Marine One, that helicopter. It looked like it, but it was officially called Special Assignment Helicopter. It was there to take Biden to the Joint Andrews Air Force Base he got on a plane, a government plane, not Air Force One. It looked like Air Force One, but it's not Air Force One anymore for him. And it flew him to California. He's gone to California to spend some time there. He said to unwind. I mean, this is a guy who spent the last 4 years asleep up in the residence all day watching Matlock, watching Cagney and Lacey reruns. But he needs to unwind, so he's in California unwinding. Kamala Harris yesterday left and flew back to Los Angeles. Actually to California. That's, of course, where she's from. She and the husband was a big entertainment attorney. So they're back in California. That's where they've gone. And she said she will go to L.A. to hand out food to the wildfire victims, to personally hand out food. Now, this is one of the phoniest things people do. This is real phony, symbolic nonsense. You see these people that, every Thanksgiving I go to the soup kitchen and serve the homeless. Well, it looks good on your Instagram, but it's not really helping anything or anybody. These soup kitchens do wonderful work, and they should be supported. But you showing up for a couple hours on Thanksgiving handing out food doesn't do anything for them. If you want to help them, donate some money. Or if you want to volunteer and work, come every weekend for the whole year. Don't just, it's just silly. I come for 2 hours on Thanksgiving. Once a year I show, because that's not helping. Sign up, become a worker there. Every weekend, go down there and work if you want to help. Or, better yet, give them a lot of money, and that way they can hire more employees and buy more soup and do it that way. So Kamala Harris will do this just for theatrics. You'll see her on the front lines handing out food for a couple hours, and that's it. Instead of actually doing something. While she was in office, she could have been a bigger help while she was in office, and was not. Trump sworn in, 2 Bibles were used. One was a family Bible. One was a Bible given to him by his mother. The other was the Lincoln Bible, which was sworn on by Abraham Lincoln in 1861. And Barack Obama used that Bible both times he was inaugurated. Trump used the Bible with his own family Bible on top of it. And for some strange reason, he didn't put his hand on the Bible. He stood with his left arm down by his side. I have no idea why. Who knows? Governor Phil Murphy of New Jersey has called President Trump, and he's now written a long letter to him asking him to kill congestion pricing. Once it's in effect, it's tougher to do it, but maybe Trump can find a way to do it. So Phil Murphy, who's normally bad-mouthing Trump and the Republicans, you remember in that debate where he said they're waving Confederate flags and they're all white supremacists, that kind of crap that came out of Phil Murphy's. Remember what he did in the debate? He got booed for like 5 minutes. The crowd wouldn't stop booing him. But now he's appealing to Trump. Vivek Ramaswamy is leaving the Trump team, leaving Doge. Apparently, Musk wanted him gone. And I don't know, Vivek started to make some enemies in the Trump world. He wrote too much stuff bad-mouthing the Trump immigration policy, those H-1 visas, his policy. Didn't like some of the stuff he was saying. But also, I've been around him a lot. He's a very impressive guy. He's a great talker. And a lot of people question what kind of real businessman he is. You know, Elon Musk, you can't question. He's literally the richest man ever in the history of the world. He's made more money than anybody ever. Nobody knows if it's, what did he make, 20 million, 30 million? It's not 400 billion. And nobody quite knows about this company he had. It was a smaller thing. I mean, Musk has run the biggest businesses on earth, so it's nothing personal against Vivek Ramaswamy. He just felt he didn't have what it takes on that level to be that kind of business mind, like an Elon Musk. So he's out at Doge. Hey, the Trump speech, people always say, well, he's too negative and it's too this. Why couldn't he make an uplifting speech? If you watch the whole thing, go back and watch the end of that inaugural speech, the last few minutes. That was very uplifting. I've seen Trump do that before. He's done that many times where he talks about how he came from nowhere, a year ago, with no hope of winning, and then he talked about You can do anything if you really, really, really push yourself. You could accomplish the impossible. Nothing's impossible.
Really push
If you have a dream, don't give up. Don't stop fighting. It was a great inspirational. He's done that as a motivational speech, a long 20-minute version. But he did a couple minutes at the end. It was pretty impressive. Hopefully he'll do more of that, especially for kids watching that.
Amadeus.
Whatever your dream is, and if they tell you your dream's impossible, just treat that as motivational speech. And he always says that. Treat the word no as motivational speech and just never, ever give up. Hey, the other thing of the nominees, Marco Rubio will be confirmed. I think that's today.
Turn right on Carlton Avenue.
Pete Hegseth,
No coffee, Lambo.
will approve his nomination. Then the full vote will come.
Sweet
Ratcliffe,
chick, Brooklyn.
CIA. These guys, these will all be confirmed. The only one that anybody has any doubt is Kennedy, but I think he'll sort of.
No coffee,
Once they get
Lambo.
there and you do those question and answers, Kennedy can out-talk all
Amadeus.
so he should be fine.
Amadeus.
And by the end of the week, you'll have a bunch of
Start
cabinet
something.
people, probably Kennedy and a few
Be
others, not
starting
till
something.
next week.
Yeah.
So, and then I don't know exactly when Musk and that Doge team go to work. They've already fired a bunch of people. One of the things this is all about is that you don't want, there are businesses that were huge American companies that were bloated, behind the times. They weren't using modern business method technique. They were so old and bloated and slow, and the world was passing them by. Think of Kodak. Remember CompUSA? The business model was outdated, old, everybody. So they're thinking about the government that way. That this is the old government model of the 40s or 50s. You got to redo this government. It's got to be leaner, meaner, faster. It's grown too big, too bloated, too bureaucratic. Got to tighten it up, make it a lean, fast, high-flying machine. That's what Musk and he is up to. And remember, when he went to Twitter, he fired 40% of the staff. And there was no difference in service. He knows how to get rid of waste and fraud and bloat. So, hey, we'll take some calls in a minute. 800-321-0710 is the number. 800-321-0710. Check out the webpage. Watch this. Now, these preemptive pardons for Fauci, Liz Cheney, all that. Here's a great montage. This is Democrats a few years ago saying Trump better not do preemptive pardons. There's something too sleazy about it. And watch them all saying, if you get a preemptive pardon, it definitely means you're guilty. Watch the hypocrisy. It's a great video. Oh, also, take a look at this. SNL finally did a sketch ridiculing MSNBC. This is all up on the webpage. Go to 710WOR.com/Mark. 710WOR.com/Mark.
President Trump in charge. What's in those executive orders? New York ripped by the Arctic blast. You need clarity. You need 710 WOR. News updates twice an hour all day and breaking news when it happens. The voices you trust. Larry Minty, Massimo, Clay and Buck, Hannity, Jesse Kelly, Sean Batchelor. Eminently qualified to keep you connected. The voice of New York is 710 WOR.
Hey, if you need to collect an unpaid judgment, if you're a landlord, law firm, business owner, or New York resident, 80% of all judgments remain uncollected. Fine Asset Recovery, FINE, Fine Asset Recovery, can assist you risk-free, no upfront fees. Call 800-513-1923. Don't let those unpaid judgments expire. Call Fine Asset Recovery. They'll help you collect the money you deserve. 800-513-1923. Fine Asset Recovery. Let them use their investigative and legal expertise to track down the money you're owed. Call them. 800-513-1923. The time's not on your side. As they say, they hide them, we find them at Fine Asset Recovery. Call today for a free risk assessment. Call 800-513-1923. FineAssetRecovery.com. At Fine Asset, they say, they hide them, we find them.
Everybody's worried about the election. You know what the word politics means from the Latin? Poly meaning many. Ticks from the Latin for blood-sucking animal. If you're like most people and you're worried about the election and how it affects your financial future, listen to me, Josh Jelinski, the financial quarterback. Every week I tackle retirement planning, financial strategies, and today's headlines that matter the most to you. With expert guests and a bit of fun, it's everything you need to stay sharp. With nearly 2 decades of experience and a Forbes-recognized track record, I'm here to guide you through the biggest questions about your money. Who's working for you? We're working for you, and we're having fun talking about all things related to your money, taxes, markets, and more. Subscribe to the Financial Quarterback Podcast now on Apple, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Seth Harris from Harris, Keenan & Goldfarb. You know, the 800 Pain Law guy. We're not only one of the biggest personal injury law firms, but we're also local. How local? Well, I grew up here. I live here. I eat here. I breathe here. I sleep here. You get the idea. And when you're here, I also know how to get you what you deserve here. I know New York. Unlike those big out-of-town firms. So keep it local. And remember, if you're in pain, you need law. 800 Pain Law. 233 Broadway, 94, New York, New York.
Hey, it's Bobby Bones. Join me and former NFL quarterback Matt Castle for our new podcast, Lots to Say with Bobby Bones and Matt Castle. Between us, we have over 17,500 passing yards, multiple New York Times bestsellers, and 1 Mirrorball trophy from Dancing with the Stars. So where else you can find a show with that much athleticism and football insight? Listen to Lots to Say with Bobby Bones and Matt Castle on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart.
Open your free iHeart app and search Lots to Say with Bobby Bones and Matt Castle and start listening.
Hey, Jesse Kelly here. Hunger doesn't discriminate, not even against those who served our country. Its start, Soldiers Angels has grown from sending care packages to becoming the largest food assistance provider for veterans. Military families are 3 times more likely to face food insecurity than civilians. That's why Soldiers Angels provide over 140,000 pounds of food every month. Go to soldiersangels.org/iHeart to donate and help feed those who serve.
New iHeart app.
Yeah, I've been playing around with it.
Love my radio, love my presets.
Thank you.
This is really easy to use.
Join the millions already on the new and improved iHeartRadio app and set your first preset. Plus, discover the new live radio dials and lyrics, podcasts, playlists, and your favorite artist radio.
Open the app and everything's right there.
Amadeus.
The new and improved
Welcome back, Dave E. Welcome back. Dave E. is in the building.
Get it.
Dave E. representative.
Mark Simone.
Who else in the
New
building?
York Advantage.
Behind the voice. Yup.
Hey, I'll be on Kudlow with Joe Concha later today between 4 and 5, Fox Business Network. If you're watching CNN, they have
cold
the fact
case.
check. Donald Trump's inaugural.
Cold.
Fact
Nice.
checker declared it was a lie a minute. There's only one thing in the speech that maybe you could say was a lie. When he talked about the Panama Canal being controlled by China.
China is operating the Panama Canal, and we didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
Okay, the only thing you can maybe call a lie. You could argue that he's not wrong when he says they don't control the canal. It's a port and a harbor. And those under contract are run by a Hong Kong company, which is now controlled by the Chinese government. So the Chinese government's company is running the ports on either end. So that's not really a lie. Maybe it's a little exaggeration, but the CNN fact checker told the biggest lie of all, that there was a lie every minute. Well, there absolutely wasn't. Let's go to Vicky in Brooklyn. Vicky, how you doing?
Hi, good morning, Mark. About the Bible, I felt that Justice Roberts rushed the swearing in, and he didn't even let the Trump family assemble before he started, the procedure. So I feel that that's the reason why maybe he forgot to put his hand on the Bible.
Whatever
What's going on?
He just forgot to do it, but it's still counts. He was still sworn in. Let's go to Mike in Florida. Mike, how you doing?
Yeah, RJ Baltimore. Welcome.
It's very amusing that 4 years, everybody puffs up their chest, so it's the peaceful transfer of democracy, and this is democracy at its best. Meanwhile, for the last 8 years, they've been treating Trump and his supporters in the most undemocratic way imaginable.
Ay, 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 ay.
Well, we'll see what happens this time. If you're watching the crazy networks, MSNBC, the hate TV, CNN, they're right back to Trump bashing.
Starbucks.
Trump bashing.
Exactly. I still can't figure out how the guy speaks. I mean, he speaks like a normal, for us, a New Yorker, really, in many ways.
Yeah, that's a big part of the problem. People watching the speech yesterday. Why does he have to say that? Why is he so negative? Why can't he be uplifting? We've never had a president who, first, think about this. We never had a president that was an urban guy from a city. Every president was from a farm somewhere, and then in later years they were from a suburb, they were from Connecticut. We never had an urban guy who grew up in a city. And then on top of that, we never had a New York City, Queens real estate guy as president. That's how they talk. If you're Ronald Reagan and you grew up on the farm, that's how you talk. Well, by golly. But if you grew up in Queens, that's not how you talk. You're just blunt and New Yorkish. So people are not used to that in a president. The other thing is, well, why does he have to take? Why can't he? How come he has? Somebody should tell him to stop. He's not a politician. When you're alone in a room with Barack Obama, and I have been, he could be cursing and screaming and yelling. I've seen Joe Biden cursing and screaming, Bill Clinton cursing and screaming. But when they get out there, they're professional politicians. My fellow Americans, I want to say to you, that's how they talk. It's just like on the radio. You know how many guys I've worked with, very famous radio guys through the years, who are cursing and
Good
screaming.
morning, Florida. Good morning.
Vile, ugly. As soon as the microphone's on. Good morning. Welcome
February
to the show.
16.
That's it. But Trump is not a politician. Doesn't know, he hasn't got that thing nailed down, that fake formality when you go on
We're
the
gonna be in Florida, February 16 to 22. Maybe we're gonna do live from Florida.
Multi-billionaire. And one thing about being a multi-billionaire, you got nothing to lose. You don't care. You don't even need the job.
Right?
In fact, if you got kicked out of the White House, all you have to do is move to a bigger and nicer house. Let's go to Tony in White Plains. Tony, how you doing?
Yeah, Mark, in regards to what you were saying before, Trump, I mean, he's a genius. The reason why he was bashing Biden and let all that stuff out that we all know is because the rest of the media for the last 8 years...
Amadeus. Beaches.
So Trump got that out there.
Use the left 2 lanes to turn left on
Why do
Tillery
you have
Street.
to attack Biden like that right in front of him? Well, think about this. If a dirty cop pulled you over for speeding and kind of roughed you up and was really...
This is a Tillery. Tillery and
made it up. How angry would you be at this? Well, imagine
Tillery.
if somebody did that to you.
Flatbush Avenue. Tillery and Flatbush
Put you
Avenue.
on trial over
It's
this.
two
Nobody in the
beaches.
history of the world
Tillery and Flatbush Avenue.
In 900 feet, use the right lane to stay to the right to Brooklyn Bridge. Then turn right. Speed camera ahead.
How mad would you be about that?
Turn right on Brooklyn Street.
Amadeus.
In 1.3 miles, stay to the right to Bowery North toward FDR Drive.
Bowery. Are you in the Bowery section? Manhattan Bridge. Manhattan.
cloudy, cold Thursday. Thursday's high 30. Mostly cloudy 14 at WOR.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio. Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone.
Like, share,
For a limited
subscribe.
time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get
Yep.
5% off.
In Chinatown. Ni hao. All I need, ni hao, Chinatown.
It's the only thing they do well. They don't do anything else well, but they can break things. Jesse Kelly, weeknights at 6
Yep.
on WOR. Hey, PC Richard and Son, right now, this is the time of year you want to go. Now, if you're looking for a...
You're gonna be in Florida,
February
February 16th to 22.
Media-wise,
Miami, you're gonna be in
lots of
Miami.
Stuff, you know, like you want a humidifier, an air purifier. They got so much stuff at PC Richard. These stores are enormous. You know, all the things you expect to find there, but wander around, you'll find all kinds
Sold
of
out
things
show.
at PC Richard and Son. And right now,
Be dialing.
this is the time.
Limited edition. Be dialing.
Best deals are right now.
Sold out show.
40%
Comedy
off.
show.
Samsung, GE, Cafe, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag, Frigidaire, even Electrolux Laundry, up to 40% off.
Be
And they're
dialing.
doing that, the more you buy, the
Speed
more you
camera
save.
reported ahead.
Speed camera reported ahead.
$1,000 in additional savings on some
Additional.
appliances. And the sales team is great.
Yep.
Guide you to just the right stuff. They're excellent with delivery, installation.
Delivery.
It's free, except Manhattan, but it's really fast. Great with service, installation, delivery, even repair, whatever you need. PC Richard will do that
Delivery.
for you. I buy a lot of stuff there. You'll really be happy. PC Richard and Son. And remember,
Rubbish.
it's family owned and operated
Rubbish
for
collection.
115 years. Gentlemen, the suit is now smarter than
I
ever.
need to
You
buy
can
it
now have
to
the
eat.
best of both worlds, comfort and performance. The Van Heusen Comfort Performance suit is perfect for the office, weddings, or any formal events on your calendar, featuring wrinkle-resistant fabric and
Maybe
enhanced stretch
pizza.
for maximum mobility. It ensures you
$1
stay
pizza.
comfortable and polished all day. Plus,
Pizza and
it's
coffee.
machine washable for easy care. Look sharp in a variety of colors, all at a great price. Shop Van Heusen's Comfort Performance suits at JCPenney or online at jcpenney.com.
Your immune system is key to optimal health. Maintaining a balanced immune response just got easier with Invite Health Beta Immunity HX. With two powerful immune-boosting nutrients, black elderberry extract and beta-glucan. Both have been shown in human clinical trials to enhance immune function. I am Amanda Williams, MD, MPH, Scientific Director at Invite Health, and we understand that our immune system can be challenged by
Amadeus,
pesky
Amadeus.
pathogens, which is why we're
Amadeus,
excited
Amadeus.
for you to take advantage of this limited time offer. Buy one bottle
Limited
of
time
Beta
offer.
Immunity
Be
HX
dialing.
just
Be
for
dialing.
you.
Limited time offer.
That's right, free and
Limited
free
edition.
shipping for you.
Be
Contact
dialing.
Invite Health at 800-632-0572. That's 800-632-0572. Or use code BETA at invitehealth.com. The time for
Continue
a
on
strong
Mayoral.
immune system is now. Get your Beta Immunity HX today. 800-632-0572.
Now there's no excuse for missing Mark Simone. Catch up on what you missed or what you want to hear again at 710WOR.com/Mark. The Mark Simone
Yep.
Podcast. 710WOR.com/Mark.
David in the building.
Make 2025 the year you take the first step toward a brighter future. Lincoln, Texas.
Hey Siri, how's the
offers
weather?
hands-on training that can open doors to in-demand careers.
Hey Siri, how's the weather in Celsius or Fahrenheit? -9. Oh my goodness. Delivery. Seriously, -9 in Celsius, 16 in regular. Hey Siri, where is my pizza place? Joe Pizza. Hey Siri, where's my coffee? Colombian coffee. Shush.
non-invasive, outpatient, highly successful treatment where we attack the cancer. I'm Dr. Lederman for your loved one with cancer treatment options that may have been hidden from you when most needed. For newer recurrent cancers, most anywhere in the body, even if prior chemo, surgery, or radiation didn't work or isn't wanted.
In 1.7
Call Dr.
miles,
Lederman,
turn left on East 37th Street.
212 choices for appointment and free cancer treatment for kidney disease. 1384 Broadway at 38. Most insurances, Medicare, Medicaid accepted. Learn about hidden cancer treatment options. Hidden no more. Dr. Lederman.
Speed camera reported ahead.
Speed reported ahead.
Mr. New York, Mark Simone on 710 WOR.
Well, that's turned down to the dean himself. Ed Rollins has worked on more campaigns, seen more inaugurations, been through more stuff in more White Houses. No one knows this better than him. Ed Rollins, how you doing?
Great.
Great, thank you. Good morning.
What'd you think yesterday? Well, that was the longest day ever. I got tired just watching all that yesterday.
Well, fortunately, I was able to shift to the Ohio Notre Dame when the balls were on, so I didn't have to watch. That was a tremendous day for the president. The president showed great strength. I think if you want to sum this up, it's sort of promises made in the course of the campaign, promises kept. He's going to do what he thinks is important. He's put a very strong group of people around him. I always chuckle when people say, well, who would serve in the second Trump administration? Well, what we're discovering is anybody would. Anybody who wants to try a challenging job will.
AMC Theater.
There are two things that I think he said yesterday that set a tone. One is you're born a man or a woman, to get in line and check your box. Second is if you're a federal employee, get your ass back to work. And I think that's what the American public didn't realize. So many workers were not working anymore. The COVID was 2 years ago. It's time to get back to work. And he definitely was tireless all day. He gave very strong speeches. And I think the Rotunda worked out much better as a format. Needed big events, gigantic events, and he made it more intimate. And I think it performed very well. Strong speech, all day.
Yeah, I agree with you. I can answer about that. He's got rated. I think it should always be big inside of the Rotunda. Much more.
It's a beautiful setting in the one and all. People have all that show, but at the end of the day, my sense is it worked just very well for him yesterday. And again, he came off very, very strong. His speech he was very visibly fit. I almost felt sorry for Biden because no president had to sit there and hear a denunciation of all that he had done in the course of giving up his power. So I'm sure by the end of the day, he walked out of there feeling very upset. Well, as we should be upset.
Yeah, but there's never been a guy making an inauguration speech and the guy before him tried to lock him up in 4 different states and tried to...
No, I agree. I agree. I think, from a historical perspective, it was an extraordinary day, and I think it's a great start. What energy this president has, my God, from early in the morning to late at night, he's still going strong today, and the contrast between an old man and Biden's been for the last couple of years. But it doesn't function very well. Someone who's older than most of us, but still not me, but most of the people in the country, but a very dynamic, very strong candidate, very now president.
Yeah, he's got some Reagan in him, in that Reagan, like Trump, is very concerned about the look of things, the lighting, the camera work, the theatrics, the staging. But that's an important thing, isn't it?
It's a very important thing. He's a performer. At the end of the day, I've seen him young career, I've seen him in a very positive way. He knows what he's doing. He gets it. And he knows how to communicate very effectively. And, if you'd have been 2 years ago, he's going to come back like he did with a roaring victory. A lot of people have been taking his money and lost it. At the end of the day, again, he performed well. He's now got a very narrow margin in the House and the Senate, but he's going to get it.
He's leaving. pizza, baby.
He's got a good team around him. They put good people in there. They manage the department. And the secret is these big agencies. He's a salesman, and at the end of the day, he's going to have to go out and do a lot of traveling and a lot of things that Secretary of Defense does very well. And he represents Trump students. I think the key thing here is everybody
Turn right on East 19th Street. Turn left on 3rd Avenue.
You've been through this with this nomination process. What is it how do you prep these nominees? What do you tell them to do when they get to the congressional question?
Well, you sit down and you tell them who all the players are. You basically tell them all of the issues in the department. You really brace them, you really put them in school. And you got 4 or 5 weeks of really good intense training. It's almost like studying for a law school test. And then they got to perform once they get there. And, there's lots of entities in the government. They give them oversight. Lots of people, have to pick as allies in the department, which is a massive department. But, for anybody who thinks they're going to walk in there, people like Cap Weinbergers and budget directors and budget cutters, and the governor will, to make some changes. The vast majority of secretaries, their history was lost to secretaries of defense were obviously military generals. It didn't work out well, and the department was set up so they wouldn't be part of what it would be doing if you're a person in the United General. And it just really is he's got strong people in the massive department. There's so many priorities in this time and age. We've been able to make some very significant changes there. We're building ships that won't fail. We're building planes that won't fly.
Turn left on East 34th Street.
They're being underutilized. So that's a big challenge.
Yeah. Hey, we only got a minute. You got to give President Trump some advice right now. Would you tell him to pace yourself? What kind of advice would you give?
I'd say keep doing what you're doing. Don't break down, and don't think you have to have a last word every day. Set big priorities, and basically don't get overexposed.
Good luck telling him that.
Oh, yeah, that's what I tell them.
Good advice. Well, Ed Rollins, the dean himself, thanks for being with us. Great talking to you.
My pleasure.
All right.
Can't be more pleased than Trump. I think it's a historic choice.
Well,
Country's made. I'm a phone call.
Thanks for being with us. Take care. Everybody check out the webpage. Some great stuff up there. So, hey, these preemptive pardons that Joe Biden gave out. Watch this montage of all the Democrats, the MSNBC crowd saying anybody would give out preemptive pardons is disgusting. And also watch all of them saying if you accept it, it means you're guilty. Watch this. It's the hypocrisy Democrats are famous for. Also take a look at this Saturday Night Live this week. A sketch ridiculing MSNBC. What is this all about? You can look at it. These are both up on the webpage. Go to 710WOR.com/Mark. 710WOR.com/Mark.
I'm Larry Mincy, ABC's Stephen Portnoy, and Sarah Ister talk about day 2 of President Trump's second term, plus tickets to see Diana Ross at 8:25. All coming up tomorrow on Mincy in the Morning from 6 to 10 on the Voice of New York, 710 WOR.
Hey, if you need to collect an unpaid judgment if you're a landlord, law firm, business owner, or New York resident, 80% of all judgments remain uncollected. Fine asset recovery. Fine asset recovery.
Turn left on East 34th Street.
Call 800-513-1923. Don't let those unpaid judgments expire. Call Fine Asset Recovery. They'll help you collect the money you deserve. 800-513-1923. Fine Asset Recovery. Let them use their investigative and legal expertise to track down the money you owe. 800-513-1923. If time's not on your side, as they say, they hide them, we find them. It's Fine Asset Recovery. Call today for a free risk assessment. Call 800-513-1923. FineAssetRecovery.com. At Fine Assets, they say, they hide them, we find them.
Hey, it's Bobby Bones. Join me and former NFL quarterback Matt Castle for our new podcast, Lots to Say with Bobby Bones and Matt Castle. Between us, we have over 17,500 passing yards, multiple New York Times bestsellers, and 1 Mayoral trophy from Dancing with the Stars. So where else you can find a show with that much athleticism? Football Insight. Listen to Lots to Say with Bobby Bones and Matt Castle on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your
your free iHeart app and search Lots to Say with Bobby Bones and Matt Castle and start listening.
Write this number down right now, 212-246-2000. Gold and silver prices are at record highs. The world-famous APR 57 Gallery is paying the absolute highest cash prices for any gold, silver, and platinum coins. Bars, bullion jewelry, price on mint items, rare coin and stamp collections, new and used watches, especially all Rolex, Patek Philippe, Vacheron, Bergey, Caritas, Tiffany's, Omegas, and all other watches, even broken. Also, all gold and diamond jewelry, especially signed designer pieces like Cartier, Tiffany, Bulgari, Buccellati, Van Cleef, etc. They also buy all art and antiques, including any Tiffany items, basically anything of value. Find them at 200 West 57th Street, the corner of 7th Avenue across from Carnegie Hall. Call the world-famous APR 57 Gallery today, 212-246-2000 for a free appraisal and high cash offer. That's 212-246-2000. Or out of state, call toll-free 1-800-772-0054. They can even travel to your home. Your immune system is key to optimal health. Maintaining a sound immune response just got easier with Inaugural Beta Immunity HX. With two powerful immune-boosting nutrients, black elderberry extract and beta-glucan. Both have been shown in human clinical trials to enhance immune function. I am Amanda Williams, MD, MPA, Scientific Director at Invite Health, and we understand that our immune system can be challenged by pesky pathogens, which is why we are excited for you to take advantage of this limited time offer. Buy one bottle of Beta Immunity HX suggested retail and get the second bottle free. That's right, free, and we cover the shipping for you. Contact Invite Health at 800-632-0572. That's 800-632-0572. Or use code ADA at invitehealth.com. The time for a strong immune system is now. Get your Beta Immunity HX.
Balabua.
800-632-0572. WAR, WASQ-HD2 New York, an iHeartRadio station. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, sports, rock, and podcasts. Never sounded so good.
The recent wildfires that ravaged Los Angeles now account for one of the largest disasters in the history of our country. Now, iHeartRadio is bringing you an historic fundraising event.
The Fire Aid Benefit Concert.
Live in Los Angeles.
Donate today at fireaidla.org.
Join us January 30th.
Listen live to the Hit Nation station on the free
Amadeus,
Amadeus.
Amadeus.
And show your support for the people in need in Los Angeles.
It's more Mark.
Mark Simone on 710 WOR.
Been a long day and a half. That was exhausting yesterday, and I was just watching it on TV. That was exhausting. I don't know how Donald Trump does it. I mean, I've been around him for a million years. I've seen the energy, the work ethic, but get up early in the morning, make a speech, talk to a million people, go to that church service, then make another speech, then talk to a million people, get to the Capitol Rotunda, meet and greet 5 million people backstage, then you go out and make a speech. Then you got to go to a luncheon with 300. He makes another speech, even longer than the inaugural. Then talk to everybody at the luncheon. Then he goes to the Capital One Arena, has to talk to a million people backstage. Then he makes another speech. Then in between, he's signing hundreds of executive orders. Then he goes to the White House, holds a 40-minute press conference, and signs another 50 executive orders. Then he quickly changes into a tuxedo, goes to the inaugural ball, makes a big speech, long speech. Then he goes to another inaugural ball, makes another speech. And this has been going on for 3 days, this kind of stuff. I don't know how he does it. Some people said, well, Melania, why did she wear that hat covering her face? Well, because it was so bitterly cold, and the hat helps keep you warm. And also, she has to cover her face, because when you're the wife, the 8th speech, as soon as he goes over to the microphone, oh, he's going to speak again with the speech. So the wife can't take it. She's had to sit through a million. But it's a great marriage, and nothing wrong there. But that's just the way it is. Well, we'll see what happens. He's scheduled to go to California later this week, North Carolina. You think yesterday was busy? Wait till the rest of the week. Hey, we're out of time. I'll be on Kudlow about 4:30 today on the Fox Business Network. Don't go away. Buck and Clay, excellent show, and it's coming up next. Then the most listened to radio show in America, Sean Hannity at 3. You got Jesse Kelly at 6, John Batchelor at 9. I'm here every day, 10 to noon, or you can listen anytime. Just get the podcast. Back tomorrow. Talk to you then. 710 WOR.
New York has a voice. I still work from home, so I can crank up WOR on the job.
It does make the workday fly.
Always the voice of New York. 710 WOR.
Police patrols on the subways overnight. Governor Hochul's new subway safety plan started last night, and within weeks there will be 2 officers riding every overnight subway. Marco Rubio sworn in as Secretary of State today. The Senate confirmed the former Florida senator last night. The vote was unanimous. Crews in Southern California battling new wildfires near San Diego now. 4 fires breaking out about 45 miles north of San Diego overnight as dangerous Santa Ana winds threaten the region once again. The blazes prompting mandatory evacuations as they are threatening homes and businesses in San Diego County. Your forecast from the 77 WABC Weather Center. Mix of sun and clouds today.
WABC.
Want to meet Sid? Well, now she can.
WABC
studio to be a part of Sid and Friends in the Morning Live. January 28th, that's right, a special live Sid and Friends in the Morning show to benefit Shriners Children's Hospital. There will be a meet and greet with Sid and special gifts too. $225. That'll get you a ticket to the big event that benefits Shriners Children. Go to WABCRadio.com/live show for more info. It is 14 and sunny outside our Midtown studios right now. I'm Noah Layden. Remember the news, it never stops at WABCRadio.com. If you are so cold, Curtis, that you're actually wearing your winter jacket indoors, I see.
That is correct. My Guardian Angel coat that I received from the Denmark Guardian Angels years ago, Copenhagen Guardian Angels.
Well, how long have you had that jacket?
Oh, years. It's made to last years.
I see. It's
the
like
Vikings, the Norsemen.
Right.
Too bad we can't play Led Zeppelin's The Immigrant Song about the Vikings and the Norsemen, right? But anyway, this is a great coat. Whenever you see me in the subway, you know I'm ready for business when I have this coat on. But
do you have like secret pockets in that jacket?
Yes, all kinds of
And what do you keep in those secret pockets?
None of your BIB business.
That's what I think.
What do you think, brass knuckles? What do you think?
Yeah.
A roll of quarters? No, we don't carry any weapons.
A weapon of some sort?
Stop being a Weisenheimer here.
There's no weapons in that jacket.
There's absolutely no weapons.
Empty your pockets
He probably
right now.
wants to feel me up here at this moment.
That's what I want to do.
My God. Maybe you're revealing your gender fluidity here.
Yeah, well, no, I have to pick a lane now, according to Donald Trump. I have to be either a man or a woman.
Well, let me tell you, but we know that you float. We know that Dominic Carter.
That I have flown.
Well, haven't you been seen in a hot tub with Steve Fulop, the mayor of Jersey City, in the Heights, on his way to him thinking he's going to be the governor?
I don't know, but I could be in a hot tub with anybody. Doesn't mean I'm hooking up.
It just means, well, that's true.
Weren't we talking about emptying your pockets anyway? I want to see what
right.
this
No, you're not going to get to feel me up. You know, like when you used to go for your working papers at the Department of Health, here it is, you were like a 15-year-old kid, you go into this cold room. And the doctor comes in with the Playtex gloves.
Yeah.
And he says, take a deep breath.
Yeah, that's the worst moment of going to a doctor.
And then he pulls your chain to see, he says, if you have a hernia. But he won't let go.
Right.
Doctor, let go! Let go! He's like,
I thought you were talking about the other thing they do.
Oh, my God. What a cover for pedophiles years ago. But anyway, let's get back on track here. No, man, I went for working papers, so that was my God.
That sounds like you could get a payday for that if that doctor was still alive.
Damn right. He seemed to derive a lot of pleasure about pulling my chest and making sure that I held my breath. And then, yank!
Wow.
He's supposed to release.
I'm trying to figure out what sort of satisfaction he was getting out of that.
Just holding on to my three-piece set and yanking.
That's weird.
Come on, you had to drop your drawers, too. He gets to see whether you're an Adonis or
Are
not.
you old enough that when you went into the swimming pool in high school, you were naked? Are you one of those?
Yeah, right.
Oh, you did.
Prep, a bunch of perps.
Wow, that's
the
weird.
The swimming team goes, everybody's got to
How did your parents not think that there was something wrong with that?
No, because back then you never challenged public school swim coaches or private school or parochial school swim coaches. they would tell you, you have to take your trunks off because your trunks could be carrying diseases into this communal
That's seriously
pool.
what they say. You're not just making that up.
No, and I would say there's so much chlorine in
Yeah, it's gonna kill anything.
There's a plume hanging over.
So you were having recreational swim time.
Well,
and you were
it was part of gym.
Delivery.
It was part of gym. We had the Olympic style pool. A lot of public schools had that. The same thing.
Wow,
the gym
that's
coach.
crazy.
You know the damn gym coach was a pedophile.
Yeah.
Because he demanded that everybody take their swimming trunks off.
Yeah. Well, there's a second person you could collect from. That's two lawsuits.
That's
you could get the
true.
money from.
And by the way, that yellow stream immediately dissipated. There was so much chlorine. Because, you know, you're jumping from a hot climate, right?
Yeah.
Into a cold water. It tends to force you to let your stream go.
Well, I remember that the lifeguards would warn you that if you did do that in the pool, that they had some sort of chemical that would follow you, like a blue line or something like that. So I would, of course, hold it in. I wouldn't take my
you'd
chances.
be squeezing your legs, right? You'd be turning blue.
Right.
The guy, the lifeguard would jump in thinking he would have to give you mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, which you were looking forward to at
Oh,
that
yeah,
time.
I couldn't wait. Yeah.
Showed you how you ingender fluid at the time, and you didn't even realize it. But do not cause me to digress.
I mean, let's just not be interesting.
As you know, I am one of the few proponents here of believing in global warming climate change.
Yeah.
Oh, horror. With the election of President Donald Trump and his inauguration yesterday, it was drill, baby, drill, burn fossil fuel, burn fossil fuel. Well, who cares? There's a little more dirty air. You heard what he said, right? Okay, so let's look at the ramifications of this policy.
Toyota
You said
Sienna
there was
has a lot of
storms
space.
in Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi.
New Orleans is going to have snow for the first time in 15 years, and it could, by the way, be a significant amount of snow.
It's going to be a blizzard.
Yeah.
You know what blizzards are? We used to have them when Rudy Giuliani was mayor. Remember you had the blizzard in 1996? 30 foot of snow!
I remember the snow was so bad during that winter storm that they actually brought in bulldozers, and they were picking up the snow and dumping it into the Hudson River because they didn't know what to do with it.
With all the chemicals in it.
Yeah.
Did I say 30 foot? A little bit of an exaggeration. 30 foot. This little spritz we had here. Remember, there was Eric Adams. Oh, it's me. It's going to be maybe 8 inches.
You could cross country down Broadway, cross country street down Broadway.
We never get them anymore. Global warming climate change. Now let's look at the difference. Okay, you look at Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. They never had blizzards. The little spritz, they can't even handle a spritz.
No.
Full-blown blizzard, forget about it. They're not going to be able to handle it. Then let's
Bulla,
bulla.
Bulle, bulle.
Wreaking vengeance on all the sodomites out there, right? All those fires. What happened? So more fires over the weekend, this time not in Ventura County or LA County or Los Angeles City proper.
Bulle.
It is. So make the connection for me because I believe
Sally Scorpio, my dear love, Sally Scorpio, me love you long time.
Climate change. Could it just be
My
the way
dear love, Sally
the
Scorpio.
planet is spinning?
What is your balance today?
No, you can't.
Balance maybe
Let's
200.
burn more fossil fuels. Let's see, that means heat goes up, right? Everything goes up.
That's right.
Ozone layer keeps it.
Bulle.
So now what happens? The atmosphere heats up. The cold waters in the ocean. And the warm
Lotion in the ocean.
But if the weather is warming up, why are they getting a blizzard in New Orleans? Because that it was really hot.
Supply for the elderly.
Reaction of when you have two forces colliding.
Oh, that must have
But
been
then again, nobody here at WABC believes that the North Pole is melting, right? Who needs the North Pole, right? Greenland is no longer filled with ice and snow. It's now green. That's why Donald Trump wants to procure it, purchase it, or take it by gun, right? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on board with that. What about the temperatures in Chicago? Do you have any idea what the temperature is in Chicago?
You mean today?
Yes.
I would imagine since it's cold there, it must be very cold there too.
It's always cold there in the winter, because you're right on Lake Michigan. I remember when it says it's 0 degrees there, it feels like 20 degrees below zero because the winds. So Tom Homan, who is the border czar, said, hey, day number one, we're going into Johnson land, that is the socialist mayor of Chicago. We're doing ice swings, right? You said that?
Yeah.
And Pritzker, the billionaire governor who said they would stand in my way. In fact, if they stand in my way, I got cuffs for both of them. Did he say that?
He did. I mean, I was curious to why they even tipped off to the migrants in Chicago that they were coming from.
Look, he's got a flex. He's got a flex, all right? He's a tough guy. The problem is, there aren't that many ICE agents. And they haven't been permitted to do their work in 4 years. You know, they got cobwebs. Right. They've been put in mothballs. You only have like 7,600 special agents for ICE. They have headquarters in every state, and including overseas. He said he was going to move in 200 ICE agents in Chicago because they barely have a handful. And yet he canceled the first week and said, hey, you know, somebody picked up the fact of exactly who we were going to go after and which Venezuelan gangbangers have played around. We were going to take out in a daisy chain purple, right?
Yeah, well, that's somebody. I mean, he's trying to tip them off that he's coming.
Isn't 0 degrees the perfect time to do the raids? Because you think any of these Venezuelans are hanging out on the street?
No, they're home under a blanket.
No, they're in the shelter that we provided.
Oh, that's true.
And in hotels, you know, the whole 9 yards.
No.
They cannot deal. Look, Americans can't deal with that cold in Chicago. So they would have been perfect to pluck up. The problem is, where do you put it? See, this is the problem. Everybody talks about snatch money. Maduro will not take them back at this point. See, this is what nobody's talking about.
Right.
Let me explain to you and everybody else out there. If you go to St. Patrick's Cathedral, if you go directly west of 50th Street, as Nancy pointed out to me, across the street from St. Patrick's Cathedral is the old Venezuelan consulate. Still has the flag. First floor is all boarded up. Looks like an abandoned building in the South Bronx.
Yeah, it's directly across the street.
Right, but it's all boarded up. I mean, why they leave it that way is beyond me. It's an eyesore. We have no relationships with Venezuela. You cannot deport people to their country of origin unless that country is willing to accept it. Before he was inaugurated, remember the news, Donald Trump tried to negotiate with the crooked leadership in the Bahamas to take the illegal aliens, at least some of them, from Venezuela. They said, are you crazy?
Yeah.
And so in retaliation, he said, okay, I'll fix you. I'm sending Herschel Walker over there to be our U.S. ambassador to regale you in tales about all the horror movies that he watches at night.
Right, so at some point they'll cry uncle and they'll take the migrants, huh?
But you have to find a country that's going to house it. Mexico won't house it.
So who's the country? Who are you coming up with?
You'd be crazy to house the Venezuelan criminals.
In this first batch, we've been told, are all going to be people who've committed crimes. So then you'd be double crazy.
Really bad hombres.
Yeah.
We do admit that Donald Trump is the master deal maker. He's the master deal maker. Venezuela sits on more...
Cold case. Cold case.
On Monday morning at 2-3 o'clock and head down to Washington, D.C. to what he thought was going to be in the rotunda. It was, but technically, it was in a site. Yeah. So it wasn't the main rotunda, but it was enough so he could see what was going on from, they call it, I guess, an anti-room or whatever.
Basically, though, you're not.
Well, DeSantis was there, some of the governors were there, so...
Yeah, I mean, even DeSantis couldn't get into the main room.
Right.
Couldn't get into the main room.
And to Eric Adams, it really didn't matter. It was simply, if the president says jump, I say how high, because I gotta get this part. I'm dead on arrival if it goes to trial, because I know all the facts, because some of the facts, they said I provided, right? I know all the facts.
Yeah.
Yesterday, though, the black contingent that had bit its tongue, that wasn't really criticizing him at all for going even to Mar-a-Lago, when he decided to pass up all the Martin Luther King commemorations and celebrations that were taking place as they do in our city every year. I mean, he passed up every one. He's the second black mayor. You can't do that. They opened up on him. The real mayor of the city of New York, who was the place at City Hall, Adrian Adams, the Speaker of the City Council, who went to Bayside High School, where remember, Eric would say, oh, my sister from another age, and how you do it? That's all bullshit. So listen to her open up on him.
Some that should be here celebrating Dr. King with us in this room have chosen to go to Washington to celebrate Felon 47.
Felon 47? That sound like a sister from another?
Yeah, I don't think so.
We haven't heard that Cuddy on WABC. Yeah, wait.
Felon 47. Wow.
And that's intense. Could I hear from the real mayor of the city of New York, who holds Eric Adams by the short hairs, because she controls the socialist city council that basically Eric Adams can't do nothing about, because they won the Democratic primaries, most of them, which unfortunately means you're elected because we don't have Republicans many times running against you. Listen to Adrian Adams in church yesterday. Open it up. Eric Adams was supposed to be the keynote speaker.
Yeah, this was actually at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. It wasn't? It was at church?
I think it was New Canaan. It could have been...
I think it was BAM where she said that.
He missed so many.
Either way, he missed the big event.
Listen to her just... Man, fire him up.
Some that should be here celebrating Dr. King with us in this room have chosen to go to Washington to celebrate Felon 47.
So have I been wrong about any of this so far?
No, and, you know, I have to be honest with you, in the beginning I wasn't connecting the dots, and I didn't really believe your theory, but how, can you imagine if Mayor de Blasio or Rudy Giuliani or Mike Bloomberg or Ed Koch, I don't know if that goes back as far as Ed Koch, but if any of those other guys had skipped out on an event for MLK in the city, what the reaction would be?
They never invited Rudy.
Oh, okay, so the other.
Yeah.
Because
No, because there was battles from day one. He said no deals without Slim Shady Sharpton. You know, Sharpton. No justice, no peace. Bloomberg bribed him $10,000 in cash every month to keep the peace. But on that note, I'm going to go into more of this in the number 2 segment. Right after that, I haven't been wrong yet. And I haven't been apologized to. I said he was at a party to the break of dawn, and he just admitted it in City Hall. I want apologies. All right? And all of you apologists and butt kisses are wrong.
As you know, the world is a dangerous place. Pandemics, political chaos, natural disasters. You know it's coming, and when it does, you don't want to get caught unprepared. So, you need to think about all family pharmacies. They provide life-saving and maintenance medications, antibiotics, and more. And yes, they've got the miracle drug everyone's been talking about, ivermectin, starting at just $3 a capsule. Here is the truth. When the system collapses and shortages happen, the unprepared suffer. Do not be one of them.
all-family pharmacy. Makes it fast and easy to stock up on all your meds. Here's the deal. Go to allfamilypharma.com/bill right now. Use the code BILL10, 10% off your order. Again, allfamilypharma, one word, .com/bill. Use code BILL10.
The following is a paid issue advertisement.
This is Andrew Ansbro with a message from New York City firefighters. Congestion pricing is unsafe for firefighters and New Yorkers. Because we use our own cars during work hours to move between firehouses, we asked for an exemption, and we were told no. Call the mayor's office and tell the New York City firefighters deserve an exemption. Your life may depend on it. Paid for by the Uniform Firefighter Association of Greater New York.
Congestion pricing is here. Coming from Staten Island.
I'm paying at the Verrazano. I'm paying at the Battery. And $9 more just to get into Midtown? Mayoral.
Coming from Jersey.
$18 at the Lincoln, plus another $9 to get to work in Midtown. And parking? Forget about it.
Coming from Long Island.
$11 for the Queens Midtown Tunnel, plus another $9 to get to work in Midtown. This is ridiculous.
Listen to 77 WABC as we deliver access to local leaders in our continuing mission to fight for you. Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. On this Tuesday, with President Trump now back in power, there's absolute disarray in the Democratic Party. A series of articles, all using anonymous sources, say Kamala Harris is mad at Joe Biden, who's mad at Nancy Pelosi, who in turn blames Joe for screwing everything up. According to the anonymous people, everyone's mad at Joe Biden, who doesn't much care because she's furious as well. This state of affairs is similar to January 2021, when Donald Trump was angry about the election and the Democrat Congress impeached him even though he was almost out the door. In America, losing is the biggest sin. Now, Kamala Harris is interesting. She had $1.5 billion in campaign cash. But money can't buy you love or smarts, and she clearly didn't know what she was talking about on the campaign trail. Not since Republican Senator Barry Goldwater cozied up the nuclear weapons in 1964 has there been a presidential candidate so clueless as Kamala. But she'll be back, possibly running for the governorship of California on the Smokey the Bear ticket. That reminds me, everybody's mad at Governor Newsom for incredible incompetence. Kamala doesn't have a tough road to follow, that's for sure. But the left in total disarray. As the Elvis announcer might say, the left has left the building. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. You can reach me, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, name and town if you wish to opine. Now let's go to the map.
Storage, Manhattan
Robert
Mini
Malone,
Storage,
Homer,
delivery.
Alaska. I always want to go to Homer. It's kind of out there. He says, just watch the United States Trump on News Nation. Just like the book is fast moving, it could have made it 2 hours, but I would have been exhausted after 2 hours. I hope you saw the United States Trump on News Nation on Friday or Sunday. Well worth watching. We may run it on BillO'Reilly.com. I'm still trying to figure that out. Beverly Street, Laguna Niguel, California, nice town. So you nailed your interview with News Nation. You shared succinctly your view of Donald Trump in an engaging way, making me wish there would be more to follow. Well, I'll be on News Nation tonight. And we're upping our presence there. So there'll be more. Trisha Dow, Lakewood, Wisconsin. My husband and I watched News Nation on Friday. I already had read the United States Trump, the book, but the visual history and photos that will prepare.
To take care of some business. I'll be back.
Go to JAIL. Look, I know a lot of you want to believe that nonsense, that all of this happened lawfare against Eric Adams when he stood up to Biden after 2 years of being the Biden of Brooklyn and said all these illegals are it's gonna be disaster for New York City. No, don't ever believe that. He was being investigated when he was running against me in 2021. You gotta read the indictments. And now there's a superseding indictment they get dropped on his head any day for witness tampering, of which he did apparently personally. But what about Andrew Holmes? He's been very quiet, very quiet, like the cat that swallowed the Tweety bird. Remember what he was saying weeks ago about his very dear friend, his butter cheek, Eric Adams?
I support the mayor. And he's a friend, and I'm trying to help him every way I can. And we should all support him, because if he doesn't do well, we don't do well, Cindy.
So Andrew Evil Eyes Cohen is helping him go right to JAIL. Behind the scenes, he's talking with union leaders, corporate financial titans. He's saying it's over for Eric Adams. It's over. I will be the recreated, rebirthed Democratic moderate who hates Donald Trump. And I will take that position because Eric Adams is now MAGA. He's now Trump. This is what he's saying in personal conversation. Justin, have I been wrong yet? No. I know this for a fact because Andrew talks to them and then they pick up the phone like the Yentas had taken off. Curtis, really? They're all washwomen in politics. They're like a bunch of washwoman Yentas, males and females. They're gossip mongers. But the guy was actually correct on what is going to happen in a Democratic primary. Believe it or not, it's Frank Morano. Host of The Other Side of Midnight. He oftentimes doesn't get a chance to extrapolate on this But nobody knows ranked choice voting better than Frank. He not only promoted it, he probably wrote up the legislation, he pushed the referendum, he knows it, and this is a way that Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo is not guaranteed to be the next Democratic mayoral nominee in the city of New York. For Eric Adams, it's over as a Democratic nominee.
Johnny.
Sid, here's what this poll in the mayor's race says to me. The news that got the most attention was that Andrew Cuomo appears to be leading in the polling. A couple of things about this. One, he was leading with 32% of the vote. He also, though, has the highest negatives out of any of the other Democrats in the field. Now, why is that important? Because in a ranked choice voting election, the people that don't like Cuomo, which is almost 70% of those polled, they are not going to rank Cuomo first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. So even though Cuomo finished first in this poll, don't be fooled. This is not a good news poll for Cuomo, because unless he's over 50%, he might as well be at zero. Because with ranked choice voting, if they're not for Stringer, they're for Lander. If they're not for Lander, they're for Adams. If they're not for Adams, they're for Ramos. You get it. They're not going to be ranking Cuomo at all. So the fact that his negatives are so high is something to be on the lookout for.
Spot on, Frank Morano, and that's why Cuomo has been so quiet. That fake poll he put out with no body, no guts, no tabs to pull out. If you actually look at those percentages, Frank is absolutely spot on. And now what does Eric Adams do, Justin Ellick? He's going to run in the Democratic primary. He's a Democrat, but he's going to try to run in the Republican primary. And I welcome him. Come on in, Eric Adams, because Joe Borelli, the minority leader of the Republicans in the city council, is going to tell you, Eric, and City Hall that's listening intently now, what's going to happen to you if you run against me in a Republican primary.
שלום, שלום ושלום, מה שלומך?
שלום אבנר.
כן.
שלום וברכה, מדבר שחר. תענה לך בנוגע למודעה של הדירה.
כן, מה רצית לדעת?
רציתי בבקשה לדעת, ראיתי שמדובר על 20 מטר.
אני נטר דיוק זה 22, רשמתי בטעות 20, אבל בארנונה כתוב 22.
אוקיי. הדירה זה 22 מטר, נכון? זה דירה בטאבו?
כן.
זה לא מחסן או משהו?
לא, זה דירה לכל דבר, שירותים, מקלחת, קומת קרקע.
היא מוזכרת היום?
לא, הצאנו את הדיירים כי אנחנו רוצים למכור
כמה הם שילמו?
סביבות 2,500. אתה יודע,
הם שילמו 2,500 לחודש?
כן.
אוקיי, זה בעצם דירת סטודיו כזאת,
כן,
נכון?
כן, אתה מתווך או פרטי?
אני אגיד לך מה, אני מתווך, אבל אני שואל גם בשביל עצמי, ואם לא בשביל עצמי, אז בשביל מישהו, כי אני מחפש השקעה.
כן. כדאי לך לבוא לראות, להתרשם. זה דירת ירושה של אבא שלי מנוחתו עדן, אז אני ואחותי ורדה מטפלים במחירה משהו.
תמונה שם קודם כל.
כן.
אוכל להיפגש איתך?
לא, בוא אני אתן לך טלפון של ורדה, היא זו שעושה את הפגישות. ורדה, אחותי ורדה. כן.
אוקיי.
כן, היא זו שעושה את הפגישות.
אבנר, שאלה קטנה.
כן.
מתי יוצאתם את הבית? מתי
בחודש האחרון.
ואבנר, שאלה קטנה בנוסף ברשותך.
כן.
הייתם רוצים שניפגש על מנת שאוכל להביא במידה וזה יצא, היית רוצה שיביא לקוחות פוטנציאליים בדירה?
נכון, הכל טוב ויפה, אבל אנחנו לא חותמים בלעדיות ולא משלמים מה שנקרא, אתה יודע, עמלה או דברים כאלה. אתה מוזמן להביא מי שאתה רוצה, אתה יכול להגיד להם 1,000,000, 2 מיליון.
מה הכתובת של הדירה?
כביר אחד.
כביר אחד?
כן, כביר אחד, שכונת...
זה קומת קרקע, נכון?
קומת קרקע, כן.
כמה דירות בקומה יש?
יש קומה אחת מעלינו, יש דייר אחד מעלינו, וזהו, זה רק 2 קומות.
שנייה, הייתה קומת קרקע, כמה דירות יש בקומת קרקע?
אני לא ספרתי, אבל יש איזה עוד 2-3
בקומה מעליכם יש גם 2-3?
לא, רק אחד, רק אחד.
הבנתי. והאם אתה יודע על איזשהו תכנון שם של התחדשות עירונית?
כן, יש פינוי-בינוי, יש פינוי-בינוי בתוכנית גם.
אצלך בבניין?
כן, בבניין שלנו גם יש תוכנית בינוי.
אתה יודע של איפה?
לא, אני לא בטוח. אחותי כנראה אולי ברדה אולי יודעת.
אני אשמח לטלפון של ברדה ולתאם אותו בבקשה.
כן, 050 410 0611 611 כן, בדיוק. וכן, ואיך אמרת קוראים לך?
לי קוראים שחר.
שחר.
נעים מאוד. כן, שחר. נעים מאוד.
נעים מאוד.
תודה רבה על הזמן. אני אסתכל רק אם יש לי אולי עוד שאלה. אמרנו 22 מטר. זה דירה בטאבו, לא מחסן או משהו, כמו קרקע. ועם כל הקטע מפני בינוי לשאול את ברדה, נכון?
כן. דרך אגב, אתה אמרת שאתה מתווך או משקיע? לא הבנתי בדיוק.
במקצוע שלי אני מתווך.
באיזה אזור אתה עובד?
בכל תל אביב. אני עובד במרכז הארץ, אבל בעיקר בתל אביב.
אז בוא אני אגיד לך משהו מוזר. אני בעצמי גם מחפש לקנות דירת חדר או 2 חדרים. ראיתי משהו ברחוב טרפון 60, 2 חדרים, ואני מעוניין בדירה הזאת, וגם פרסמו ביד שנייה, משהו כזה. בכל מקרה, אם יש לך משהו עד 900,000 או עד מיליון, 2 חדרים, בתל אביב, שכונות, לא אכפת לי, תלוי איפה, אתה יודע. כי רק בשכונות האלה זה זול יחסית. אם אתה מגיע לרמת גן, צפון תל אביב, לפח פי 2 הכל. אז אם יש לך משהו עד מיליון, 2 חדרים, 40-60 מטר מרובע, תודיע לי גם, אני גם מעוניין לקנות.
אבנר, מה הטלפון שלך?
שלי זה... אתה התקשרת, אבל אני אתן לך שוב, רק שנייה. אולי תמצא לי משהו, אתה מבין? אם לא תקנה, אולי אני אקנה. אז שלי זה... כן, 051 650 0958.
תודה. אתה מחפש עד מיליון שקלים?
כן. משהו 2 חדרים, 40 או 50 מטר מרובע. מעדיף כמעט...
בכל אזור תל אביב.
כן, תראה את הרחוב טרפון 60 הזה, יש שם מישהו שזה בלעדי, לא יודע, רוצים מיליון...
הלכת לראות את הדירה?
אחותי הלכה לראות את הדירה, רוצים 1,200,000, 1,300,000, אם הם יורידו לי למיליון, אני אשמח לקנות.
ואם אני אצליח להוריד לך את המחיר?
כן, אז אני אקנה במיליון, אתה מבין? תמצא לי בו משהו דומה לזה.
אתה תרקי, אני אוריד לך את המחיר?
כן, כן. תבדוק מי הבעל הבית, אולי תעקוף את לא יודע מה אתה מתווך, לא יודע מה.
אני במקצועי מתווך.
כן.
אז אני את העבודה שלי אעשה כמיטב יכולתי.
כן.
איך אמרת הרחוב?
טרפון 60.
טרפון?
כן, טרפון, אתה יודע, טרפון, זה בתקווה, זה על יד השוק. ט'-ר'-פ'-ו' כן, כן, נון סופית, אתה יודע, 60. תרשום ביד אליהו, טרפון 60, אתה תראה את כל הפרטים.
כן, כן.
תבדוק בסיסטם מי הבעל הבית, תגיד לו, יש לי מיליון מזומן, אני אקח את זה.
אוקיי, תן לי.
אוקיי.
לפעמים אתה יודע, לפעמים מתווכים יודעים...
כן. אז סליחה על השם, שוב פעם, איך קוראים לך? שחר, רשמתי, כן, שחר. אוקיי, כל טוב. בהצלחה.
תודה, יקירי.
כל טוב.
ביי ביי.
in your tribe, you guys make excuses for your tribe. Hey, I know a Nazi salute when I see one, and that was a Nazi salute.
This is New York's talk leader, the crown jewel of talk radio. WABC New York and 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays. News first at 59 past the hour. 77 WABC News starts now.
It's 18 degrees and cloudy on this Tuesday, January 21st. Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Rick.